divorce is up by a whopping a third in Italy as lockdown pushes couples to the brink. Loss of jobs, worries about money have exacerbated tensions between many couples. This is by the National Post on WND. It's unfortunate that that's always been basically the big case, the economic worries. I remember, oh, okay, this was in New York. Both my parents, I've told you in the past, were architects, and the first thing to go down when the economy turns downward is building projects stop. One thing that stops is advertising, and then the next thing is, of course, building projects. And so both of them were unemployed, and there was a problem, obviously, in supporting the family. And I remember we were sitting around the kitchen table when things were so dire, and we all prayed, and the next day they both found jobs. I mean, prayer is a very big thing in a family, and unfortunately, when things like this happen, when the lockdown and people not working, it's not a good situation when you don't have work. How can you pay your bills? How can you support yourself and your family? It's a big problem for families, obviously. Now, the National Post says 2 months of pent-up frustration and irritation during Italy's lockdown have led to a dramatic rise in divorce proceedings. I would imagine it's not just Italy. I would imagine it's every place that has had lockdowns. Anyway, this was a research and a poll done in Italy, according to lawyers. Petty Nigels over leaving the lavatory seat up or not doing the washing have come up to a head for many couples forced to live in proximity since the country went into coronavirus shutdown in early March. We know that in Europe, that's where it started, basically from Italy, from a Milan fashion show, and it spread to every country in Europe after that. Anyway, Italian lawyers report a 30% increase in the number of couples inquiring about or initiating divorce proceedings. Now, hopefully, when the economy opens back up again, things will be relieved and their problems will be relieved, and hopefully they'll think about these, destroying their families. It's not a good situation at all. The loss of jobs, worries about money, and tensions between many couples. As Italy emerges from lockdown regime, there have been other unforeseen consequences, including a sharp hike in prices. Hairdressers, bars, restaurants are accused of increasing their prices since they were allowed to reopen on Monday. With Italians desperate for haircuts after being stuck at home for so long, some salons have hiked their prices up by a whopping 20%, according to the Italian Consumer Centers. Prices of an espresso coffee has risen in Italy's big cities by 20 to almost 50%, according to Codecon's and National Consumer Association. Business associations said their price rises were justified because of the huge loss in earnings caused by Italy's lockdown. Italy's GDP is predicted to contract about 10% as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. And some couples said they were able to run along tolerably well in normal times, with work and friends providing distractions and breathing space in the relationship, and have been pushed to the brink by confinement. One person said, "I can't believe how oblivious my husband can be to the kids' needs. He can have 2 toddlers bouncing on top of him and still be glued to his phone," said one disgruntled wife in Rome, exhausted by the long weekends of lockdown. And one woman said for some couples, the equilibrium relied on the fact that they did not see each other very often, or they were able to see their loved ones. This is what a divorce lawyer said. Since lockdown began March 9, she has taken on 12 new divorce proceedings, according to the National Post. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.